Start. Okay, we are live. Now can we share the video? Share the video.
I should be able to.
I
Oh wow,
actually
we're
got it.
live. Okay, cool. Oh, you made it fancy-ish. Mm-hmm.
All right. We are live and we have at least one viewer.
Me.
Oh, it's you. You're the one viewer.
I listen. I was making sure we were streaming and sounded good.
I guess that's important. You can be the one viewer. Do we sound good? Do I?
Yeah, actually,
Okay.
surprisingly enough, we don't sound weird.
Hmm.
Oh look, other people are here. See,
Oh, my cat is going to disrupt the stream now.
that's normal.
Agreed.
Oh wow, literally. All of a sudden, the stream went down, like turned off for just a second.
Look, I warned you. My cat's gonna disrupt the stream. That's what he
That's
does.
that's all right. I'm currently doing the thing where I'm looking at myself on our conference call or our call, and I'm watching the stream. So to me, you're above me, but on the stream, I'm above you. Oh, a cat.
He doesn't want to be live. He just wants pets. He doesn't want to live stream anything.
No, he just wants love.
Yeah. Maybe that's all.
I'm still jealous. Max got to love on that cat when we were visiting. He refused to come near me. He only wanted to scream at me for food.
Yeah, he is such a people cat, but he's not an extrovert. Like, it's pretty hard to convince him to like people, and then once he likes people, he really likes people.
He loved Max. He got upset when I went back to drop off Kristen because he was apparently hanging out with Max and just like looked at just hopped off and never came back. There's multiple people now.
Oh, look, we got quite the crowd building. I also had my chat settings on wrong, so I didn't see any chat messages just now.
Ah,
So I was like, wow, we have people in the chat, but no one's talking. How weird. It's like, oh, that's on me. I didn't know.
Da- Daniel didn't put a thing.
Yeah,
It happens.
it does. It does happen. More than I
Uh,
like.
hey, Daniel. Since we're developers, can I ask you a developer question real quick?
Hell yeah.
Should a monster have a free interaction section, or should I just make anything that's a free interaction be a reaction?
Um, no, if it has a free interaction, then yeah, I would add a free interaction section.
Cool. That's what I make sure.
Yeah.
I'm working on your floaty orb boys.
Oh.
Sad trombone. Why is there sad trombones? I'm gonna butcher your name, so if you want to phonetically spell it out for me, then I'll do it better next time.
I don't know. I'm gonna say Sonochi, which is actually probably worse.
I listen. I've learned just to ask people to phonetic sanocho, sanocho,
Sonochi.
chi, sanocho, oh, sanochi,
Sonochi. Sonochi.
sanochi. Okay. I was about to, the typo really threw me off. I was like, ah, shit. I really don't understand letters.
All right. Well, first off, welcome everyone to the stream. During tonight's stream, we will be announcing that Tephra Second Edition is coming. I'm sure that announcement will come any point during the stream. We are also potentially going to be making a character. We'll see how that plays out. And otherwise, just kind of riffing, answering your questions, having some nice community engagement, seeing what y'all are up to, seeing what you're interested in, um, and kind of talking about what's coming next for
Daniel
Tephra
and I
Second
are
Edition.
hanging out for a little bit too.
Yeah,
We don't get to do that often.
yeah, I get to hang out with Jake, have a nice drink. Like it's a dream come true.
Aw. Listen, I still want to visit so you can make me whatever that hellish concoction was that I loved last time.
Oh man, as Jennifer has pointed out, if I don't write it down, I have no idea what I did. So,
I I think the problem is this, and for the people watching, when I visit Daniel for the Chupacabra Con, Daniel's like a very healthy person now and like is like been taking care of themselves. I am a fat kid and I'll just if someone's like, "Hey, try this drink," I'll ask, what's in it?" and then I'll drink it. Daniel made me something that had egg froth in it and it was like lemony and I'm still confused by it because it was one of the most delicious things ever.
it was pretty good.
It was really good. I drank like 3 of them.
Oh yeah. Anything with the egg froth, whiskey sour sort of thing. Yeah, it's gonna be good.
Oh, I want a whiskey sour so bad right now.
All right. Well, why don't we dive right in? I'm
Do
sure
it.
we have plenty of more people to join us over time, but I'm so excited to be kind of launching Tephra Second Edition. This is something we've been working on for a long time, um, and I like. I mean, obviously, the sorry, cat issues. Boop. Okay. Um, so Tephra Tephra First Edition came out 10 years ago, just a smidge over 10 years ago, and we've now gotten thousands of copies out into the wild. You know, run hundreds of games. Like it's been a great success, and it's been wonderful for us. And I love Tephra First Edition, but
It's how I got a job.
it is. Um, but now with Second Edition, we are really trying to kind of up the ante. We're trying to figure out what worked well with First Edition, figure out how we can speed it up, how we can streamline it, how we can make it a little bit more accessible to players. We're really focusing on the narrator and making it easier for the narrator to run. And then we're advancing the storyline like real significantly. Um, we have a lot of lore and characters and world developments that I am so excited to share with everyone. Um, and if I, kind of drop hints here and there and talk about things that maybe don't make sense, feel free to jump in the chat and let me know and go like, "Hey Daniel, what's going on with this?" Or Daniel, you said this. What does that mean? Because yeah, I'm happy to
Well,
talk your ear off.
Daniel, in the future when those things are finalized and or wanting to be shown off, where could people check that stuff out?
So that's a great question. All of the Tephra Second Edition playtest material is going to be on our Patreon right now. Well, okay, it's going to be on our Discord, but behind a Patreon wall. Um, so just have to climb that Patreon wall, and you'll get there. But
$1.
yep, just costs $1, and you can get this whole PDF, which I'm about to show off. Um, yep, it is a full PDF. It looks vaguely like a real book. Um,
I would say, as someone who had to write a lot of that system, that is a real book. As someone that wrote a lot of that, that's a real book, and I'm
you know,
glad people want to check it out.
I I am very happy with how this has kind of come together. Um, and I'm really looking forward to playing with it more. But this playtest book is basically setting agnostic. It is, I mean, it's not setting agnostic, but it doesn't have a whole lot of the story elements that we are including in T2, and you're gonna hear me call it that for a little while, T2. Um, but we are looking forward to launching a full, new lore segment, getting people into the world. Um, with first edition, like we really kind of focus on Evanglass and the surrounding areas of Evanglass, and in this edition, everything's a little different. Everything's gonna be a little different. Um, Sonocho asks, or sorry, Sonocho. Sonochi asks if this is going to be in addition to or replacing the first edition. And this will be replacing the first edition. So this will be a totally new game. The dice mechanics and everything are totally different. And, um, none of the previous edition stuff will work with it. We are keeping to the spirit, the inherent gameplay style, and the character creation methodology in a lot of ways, but it will be a new game. Uh, and to that point, the lore, so it's still taking place within the Tephra world, but um, the storyline is moving forward a little bit. So we're moving a couple decades into the future. Some of our beloved characters are getting a little older. Some of their plot points are advancing to the next level. Um, the Salvager Menace, if you're familiar with that, is gonna kind of wrap up and introduce our next real big story arc in the world. Um, and I get all tingly just thinking about it. So yeah, it is kind of it's a new game with a kind of some new story arcs that we're gonna be exploring. Oh, and to that point, um, getting the whole playtest and getting all the updates to the playtest is going to be available for the $1 Patreon tier. Um, as we start doing lore as well as adventures, all of that will be available in the $5 and up tier. I think it's $5.50 just to make it complicated. But yeah, it's the $5 tier that will have access to major lore drops every month, as well as a adventure or a combat or some sort of encounter every month, um, as well as just that little bit of money gives us a lot of leeway to keep working on this and keep making art. Um,
It takes a lot of the stress out. I know Max. So Max was joking about like Jake crying when we saw 550 tears. I woke up this morning teary eyed when I watched how many people came to support us on Patreon. So that is legitimately a thing. Like it does support uh Parlor and gets the writers, which are Daniel and I, and helps fund us and get more art and things like that, and makes it so uh I can dedicate more time to writing stuff.
mm. So none of your business is asking in the chat. Will there be a book that matches levels of adversaries to characters? Um, and kind of mentioning how hard it was to make enemies that weren't underpowered or overpowered. Oh man, we have spent so much time working on that. Um, in hindsight, we did a lot of good work with Tephra One, with Tephra First Edition, but I really wish that there are some tools that we have now that we are utilizing in developing Tephra Second Edition that I really wish we had back then, because the style of encounters that we're able to build, the speed of those encounters, the way that they balance, the way that they play out, I am so much happier with. Um, and Jake's ability to create fantastic monsters has just been, just wonderful. Um, so I'm really excited to see us continue to, at least improve on our combat and monster building systems. And yes, getting to getting to a point where um, those level 12 adventurers are really nicely challenged by level 12 monsters and level 12 encounters. That is the goal. Now
Mm-hmm.
I will admit, for any game, once you get to that tier of gameplay, players have such a vast arsenal in their hands, and that is not going to change in second edition. Like your 12th level characters are going to be armed to the teeth. They will be very well equipped to handle all sorts of weird and wacky scenarios. But um, I have a lot of faith in our ability to definitely challenge them. Um, Maybe over challenge them. We'll find out. It should be exciting. I would rather over challenge than under challenge, unless it gets boring. I hate when it becomes a slog fest.
Yeah. Uh, I don't think we've had a fight knock on wood, a fight so far that's been like just a slog fest that wasn't fun. Like even the few fights that we had for other testing that has been long for like say Retroscape have been like really tense fights
Hmm. I've definitely
that
been
felt
involved in
back and forth.
some slog fests, but
Okay, fair.
most of those were actually like spacing issues more than they were like the map
Oh,
was like too big or too small or like some like
gotcha.
it's just like the composition was a little wrong. And then we come back and
Fair.
we tweak things and it gets better. So
Yeah.
but
Oh, I do want to I do want to clarify one thing about the Patreon because we kind of mentioned it. Uh, because you talked about we're going to do lore drops and confrontation little mini adventures. Uh, there will be stuff for both Tephra and Retroscape going up there, but you can easily pull monsters from either one to throw at your players because my goal is to like be able to like there's gonna be a lot of obviously Tephra's gonna have some very steampunk inspired one and Retroscape's gonna have some very deco punk inspired stuff. But if you're having a thing, you're like, I really want to throw this monster at them. You should be able to. And if you do, let us know because I'd love to know what happened.
hmm.
I just want to see a bunch of elves and Eowyn and satyrs having to fight a fractured beast.
Ooh, yeah. That seems interesting.
But, just wanted to clarify that in case I got confused later.
Um yeah. So why don't we kind of dive into a little bit on character creation?
Sure.
Um I really want to be like, hey, as a show of hands, who in the audience has played? Yeah, all right, great, good. We got one. Um,
Oh, wait, what was the actual question?
so right now we kind of have a split audience right now with some people being pretty familiar with Retroscape and what we've been working on in terms of how
Mhm.
this new system works, and a lot of folks coming in new and not being super familiar with the new D12/D20 systems that we've been building.
That is true.
Um, and I just realized that I don't have any dice within arm's reach of me. Hmm.
Daniel, how
Yeah.
could you? I do.
Oh, good, good. Um, hey Jake, do you want to tell people roughly how the dice mechanics work?
Sure. Hey, it's spicy salsa, so if I start coughing, I'm sorry. So in Tephra 1.0 or first edition or whatever we call it, because we kind of joke about the name, you used a single D12 generally. I think there was like a couple small times where you could roll more, but the D12 was all you needed. In our new system, which is the Volcanic RPG engine, which Tephra 2 second edition 2.0 will be running on, you get to roll dice pools of D12s and D20s, but your dice pool is determined by your attribute. So if you have a brawn of 3, you'll be rolling 3 D12s. Those are your base dice. Now, let's say you have a skill in athletics of 1, you get to upgrade one of those D12s into a D20. So if you had athletics of 2, you'd upgrade 2 dice. Your dice pool will remain the same. It is determined by your attribute. And then you will roll that dice pool comparing each die to the target number. For skill checks, it'll generally be 10 is our base target number, and defense is the variable that'll usually exist. So I think that covered it.
Yeah, seems about right.
Okay.
Uh, cool.
Which is, fairly close to what the original version of the system is. It's been improved quite a bit, I can happily say. much simpler. And like you said something very I liked a lot. It was making it easier on the narrator to run.
Hmm. Yeah, that's been kind of a huge focus for me is really making this a game that our narrators aren't afraid to pick up. Um,
Yeah,
and I think that we are making some strategic decisions both around the way that target numbers work and assigning difficulty works, as well
yep,
as like our skill trees, um, as well as just like overall story elements. I think that the changes that we're making to the overall like narrative arc that is Tephra is going to make it very easy for both experienced and new narrators to come in and really own Tephra, and tell the stories that they want to tell.
yeah. And to that point, I like I said, I mean, I was a fan of Tephra. That's how I wound up working at Parlor. Was I was a huge fan of Tephra. I found it randomly, and I emailed Daniel, and he was like, "This guy's kind of annoying. Let me give him a job, I guess." Uh, no, I asked. We talked, and I asked questions on that. But the Tephra lore was always fascinating to me because like I could pick bits and pieces of it out, and then I could like do what I wanted with it. But I could always come back to it. And I think you're right. I think people that are the old school will really like what our joke is always Daniel does like 80% lore, I do 20%, I do 80% system, Daniel does 20%, but it's always a mixed bag depending on the day.
Hmm.
But what Daniel's been doing with the lore has been really fun, and I'm having to have a hard time not telling people about it in the Discord
Oh, normally
because I'm
I'm the
having.
one that has that issue.
I know, which I'm very proud of you for.
I'm trying to not just reveal everything.
I know. Listen, they people are willing to pay us money right now, so I am okay with sending them very cool things.
That is one of the things that like I was kind of hoping to do a live stream because anything that I say in this live stream isn't canon. So I can just say things and it's not
I
written anywhere. It's great.
I mean, technically, until the book is published, nothing's canon.
That's true. That is true. All
But
right.
yeah.
So, oh man, I lost one of my documents.
Oh no.
Uh, Everyone gets to listen to my loud keyboard for a moment.
That's all right. They've been listening to mine once in a while as I'm making monsters. While Daniel's doing that, chat, what's your favorite Tephra monster?
Oh man, I I know I'm not chat, but I really want to see the Arachnoforge here soon. I
It's on the list.
Yeah, I know
It's
it
on the
is.
list.
I made that list, so I know it's
I
on
know
there.
you did. Ooh, look, someone else put one of the ones that you like on your list. God
the, the
damn it.
the slime
That
dogs.
slime dog. Yeah, you put the Siberius things. Siberius.
Oh, the Siberius hounds.
Those things. Yeah,
Oh
you
my
put that on the
God,
list.
yes, I forgot about those. Yeah.
Yes, I refused to play that adventure when I was running because it scared me. Pets or maybe predator. God damn it, Choclad.
Yes.
Well played.
We will do
Well
a
played.
pet or maybe a predator, but not both.
Oh, I mean, I made all these animals though.
Oh,
Do
did you?
I mean I made a shark, a rat, a horse, an elephant. I made a bison.
All right. My screen is going to change a little bit.
No,
All right.
just one pet. All right. What pet do you want, Choclad? Pick an pick an animal, and I'll try and find the closest thing I got. Automaton dragons. I like none of your business. That's a good idea.
All right. So I'm kind of going to jump back and forth. I'm just going to show you a character sheet. I don't have the tools right now to fill it out, so you have to deal with it with me. But I'm just going to kind of walk through character creation. So at first level, or when you first start building your character, you're going to first pick one of your primary attributes. Now, attributes are, your brawn, dexterity, intellect, social, and wisdom. brawn being your strength, dexterity being how nimble and how good your hand-eye coordination is. Intellect is going to be a lot of your crafting, your uh, logical nuance, your Sherlock Holmes style understanding of situations. Social is your ability to manipulate folks and interact in social situations and handle other people. And then wisdom is like kind of your ability to observe, to understand what's going on, and to make good rational decisions. Um, so I need to pick one of these attributes to be my primary attribute. Um, and I'm just gonna kind of leave it up to the chat to tell me which attribute should be my primary attribute.
Put your votes in now.
Yeah. Also, I also love automaton dragons, and I think we should have more of those.
All right, I'll make them with the Arachnoforge.
Ooh, automaton dragons plus arachnoforge. That sounds intense.
Spider Dragon.
Um, Sonochi asked if there will be the same or different races. So I'm gonna take a few moments to answer that question. Um,
Well, people vote. Do that.
yeah.
I'll keep track.
Uh, Scrolling down. Cool. Um, so the answer is mostly the same, um, with a couple key differences. So, one, automatons are becoming a core race. Um, and, well, okay, actually, I'm going to back up for just a second. We are renaming them ancestries. So, this is a reflection of your ancestry. Um, we're just kind of moving away from the term race to describe species. We want our ancestries to allow for multiple races. So, but um, a couple of the main changes is we're adding automatons as one of our core ancestries. So over the last few decades in the story, automatons have grown increasingly sentient. A lot of the times they've gained essence or souls, and now they've really moved into a little bit more core part of society. So automatons are shifting into one of our core ancestries. The second thing that you'll notice is that um, Frishta have merged with elves. So the instead of separating those out into two different categories, we will now have elves, and during the character creation process of creating an elf, you get to choose whether you are making an elf or a Farishta, and if you're making a Farishta, what type of Farishta you're making. So those are kind of the main changes there. Um, Old Man Pac-Man asks, any chance of public con playtesting? Yes, definitely chance. Um, I am positive over the next year that we will be doing that at various instances. We
Mm-hmm.
do not have an exact schedule right now, though. So, if
Uh,
there are places you're interested in us playtesting, definitely let us know.
Also on that, if you are a player, if you are someone who likes to run games and is planning to run one of our games at a convention, let us know so we can promote it and like maybe see if we can like send you some like little buttons or something.
Hmm.
We want to do stuff like that down the road, just so people can like run games when not able to get to a convention, but they can still showcase the game.
Um, Sonochi asks, will the simulacrons play a larger role? Uh, yes, basically. So the automatons now are largely taking on the role that simulacrons had in first edition. So we didn't publish simulacrons in like a major way in first edition, and now we're kind of going to move them into more of a core role and relabeling them as automatons. So yes, your automaton will potentially be able to take on some simulacrum style traits, aka like maybe you end up putting on human skin. Maybe that's not the right word. Um,
I would just say the disguised augment.
Ah, disguise. Yes. No. That's slightly different than putting on human skin, I suppose.
I mean, I guess it. Yeah, you know, I got nothing, man. That's fair. I forgot that was the thing for the simulacrons.
Yeah. Um. Cool. I think our votes are leaning towards intellect. Do you feel that way too?
Yeah, I got 2 votes so far for intellect.
All right.
And 1 vote for dexterity. So I say go ahead and start an intellect one, and then if we have time, see if we make another character.
That's awesome. Um. I just found my edible character sheet, so I'm totally gonna use this real quick.
Ooh, yeah, because currently, I believe in you made a dexterity-based character already in playtesting stuff.
I did already make it a dexterity character, so I don't really want to do it again. Um, I'm willing, but
Let's just see. Let's see how fast you can whip out this one.
oh, you want speed? Ooh,
I want to see if you can make a concept and a character and how long it takes you.
okay, cool. Well, let's see. We're gonna start with dexterity, which means that all of these are getting filled in. I can't quite see everything on my screen right now. Okay, here we go. So since my primary attribute is going to be dexterity, um, prove that we can do it in 10 minutes or less.
You
All
mean
right.
you mean intellect?
Ah, damn. You're right.
I don't want to do dexterity. Gonna do dexterity.
All right. So since intellect is my primary attribute, it's going to be starting with 3. Everything else is going to start at 1. Then I get 3 more points to distribute in other skills. So, since I heard about people telling me that I should choose dexterity as one of them, I'm going to at least put 1 point there. I think for simplicity, I'm going to put 1 point in social and 1 point in wisdom as well.
Okay.
I think that's just going to be easy for me.
And Daniel, what is a two? Is that like average? Is one average? Is three average? What's the average, quote unquote, of a human?
So the average is going to be a 2. 2 is going to be average, 1 is going to be below average, and 3 is going to be above average. Um, Once you start getting into the 4s and 5s, you start getting into the Olympic slash superheroic levels of an attribute. So at first level, we are only going to have, somewhere between 1 and 3 for your character, with most of your attributes going to be, in that 2 range, aka average. All right. So the next step in this process is going to be choosing my uh, archetype.
Mm-hmm.
Now, let me see if I can. Oh, there it is. Thank you for dealing with me clicking around for a second. Um, Now, this is going to be a big departure from the original Tephra. Uh, your first level character is going to have an archetype. Now, you're going to choose from 15 different archetypes, and each archetype has a different selection of starting abilities that help kind of define what your character is and how they work. We get to choose based on our primary attribute. So, because I chose intellect as my primary attribute, I get to choose either inventor, mastermind, or physician as my archetype. So I'm just gonna
Okay.
kind of introduce you to what those are. So the inventor, pretty straightforward. They're gonna be the ones that are, you know, dealing with trinkets, contraptions, anomalies. Um, Now the inventor gets combat contraptions at first level, which allows them to tweak their allies' attacks and apply like elemental or damage effects to them. So I could, you know, create a combat contraption that can take Jake's character and turn his weapon into electric. And then once I've done that, I can spend momentum every turn to increase that damage. So now every time Jake hits, it's electric and does like 6 more damage because I upped the damage points for it.
Honestly, Inventor's one of my favorite ones that you did.
I think they're very fun.
Uh, it's one of my favorite ones because you made an actual support character that like is like the epitome of I just want to make you deal more damage.
So the next one on the list is the Mastermind. Now the Mastermind is a little weird. They're totally based on controlling the battlefield, and they do this in a couple different ways. So one, they have the Generalist skill, which gives them extra skill points. Um, well, it's kind of a I kind of misspoke there. What it really does is it allows them to be better at a skill than they should be. So, let's say that they come across a locked door. The generalist can spend some of their momentum in order to give them a temporary bonus on that roll. So, the journalist is really going to be your kind of pocket ace for anything that the party's not good at. They're going to come along and they're going to take a lot of that limelight for skill checks. The second thing that they do is obstacles. Um, Now, obstacles I think are really fun because you can basically choose a 5 foot square and designate there as being an obstacle in that way. Um, Now, what is that obstacle is kind of up for you to flavor. Maybe there are some ruins there. Maybe you deployed some caltrops over there. Maybe you have a little walking tinker robot that walks out and becomes your obstacle. There's a couple of different ways that you can flavor that. But the main thing is that you can build obstacles, and that kind of really helps direct the flow of combat by putting obstacles in the way of your enemies. The other thing I really am looking forward to seeing, and I haven't seen this yet, but I really want to see obstacles played with a Maverick, and see how like obstacles become used as hiding spaces.
Ooh.
All right, so the third one is the Physician. Now, the Physician is going to be your typical kind of doctor style character, um, and they get kind of two cool things. One is elixirs, and let me reread that real quick. Yep, yep. Um, so for the elixir, the doctor gets to just take a single d12, um, and hand it to an ally, and they can roll that d12 to restore the number of hit points equal to the result. So if I was like, "Oh hey Jake, here's an elixir," I would just hand them a d12, and when Jake takes that elixir, Jake would roll that d12 and get that many hit points back.
I think Dana really just wanted to be able to do that cool D&D vial thing we see of like, oh, look at these D4s inside of the floating liquids.
Well, yeah, why not?
Exactly.
The second thing that they can do is tend the wounded. So if you are wounded in combat, your physician's going to be the person that will best get you back up and in the battle. Um, so if anyone has any opinions on what I should be playing, definitely put that
We
into
got
live
one
chat.
so far for physician.
One for physician.
Mm-hmm.
I think that
I
might be
think,
the winner.
I mean, that's
Do
fair.
do do do.
Everyone loves a good healer. Oh, yeah. Oh, wait.
Yeah, yeah,
Same
confirmed.
person.
Yep.
Say, you know what? He seconded his own opinion. I'm going to say that, it kind of works. Uh, I want to see more for this one with providing obstacles. Okay, so let's vote for the mastermind.
Hmm. Yeah, knowing what I know about Chocolate, I can definitely imagine them liking the mastermind. Feels kind of right up their alley.
It's so he can hide behind it with his cat. Oh, for those of the chat, I did post the cat stats in the Discord just for him.
You posted the cat stats?
Yeah, I have stats for a cat.
Oh my god, you did.
Yeah. What do you think I am?
Wow, that's great. Ooh,
Yeah, a cat can take a whole one punch.
we now have 2 votes for Mastermind.
That's true. Daniel, I feel like if you make this though, they're gonna make you take animal companions just so you have to have a cat.
If that's the worst thing that happens to me today, seems pretty reasonable.
You are the gods. That's fair. I you know what? Go with Mastermind.
All right.
We had 2 votes for it.
All right. For everyone in the chat, I am gonna say that the next thing I'm gonna poll y'all on is the ancestry. So if you have opinions on the ancestry, you should start talking now.
Yes, and for reference, our ancestries currently are humans, Aodins, gnomes, automatons, elves, and satyrs.
Yep.
And as a reminder, the Frishta are inside the elf category now. Okay, got to vote for a satyr. All right, got to vote for a robot. Interesting.
All right. We're gonna be a level 1 character. Got
Mm-hmm.
my intellect. Oh, so a couple other things.
Gnome. All right.
What am I playing? Mastermind? Cool. So
Yes,
my mastermind's
mastermind.
going to start with 7 hit points, 17 wound threshold.
Mm-hmm.
Let me do page 2.
Roll a d12. Oh, we got 2 votes for gnome.
2 votes, eh?
Yes, we had 2. Currently, there's 2 votes to gnome. Someone asked, like Tobelcane asked, wasn't there a massive deep sea monster? I can't recall what they were, but on a play map it would take up 4 squares.
Hmm. Um,
So I'll vote for the Farishta.
I'm having a hard time remembering that one.
No idea. Was it like a sea serpent looking thing? Sorry if you can hear my dog barking in the background, losing their mind because there's a raccoon outside. Uh,
And I apologize
uh,
for my screen going everywhere.
that's fair. Daniel, someone asked, are gnomes still butterscotch and are elves still busted?
Are gnomes still butterscotch? Is
Oh, they said,
butterscotch overpowered? Or is that.
uh, I have no idea. They said BS, and I just wanted to make a joke.
Oh.
Oh, Abyssal? Yeah, the Abyssals. That technically those weren't official, or were, or are Abyssals canon?
They are about to be.
I mean, that's true. Daniel's dropping hints again.
Yep, they are.
Currently, Gnome is in the lead with 2 votes. I mean, a vote for Satyr, a vote for Robot, a vote for Rishta.
Oh, the abyssal like walking tank suit thing.
Yeah, the giant, the
Oh, I
the
know.
giant ass
Yeah.
things. I realize that what they're talking about. Yeah,
Yep.
yeah,
Heard.
the 2x2s. I remember what they're talking about now.
Yep. Yeah, those were oh, they were quite powerful.
Yeah.
All right.
Uh, well,
So
Daniel hinted a little bit. There might be something with Abyssals down the road.
I'm gonna note real quick. So I get 1 point in knowledge as part of my character,
Gotcha.
and I get 2 points in 2 other skills. Um,
So 1 point in 2 other skills.
yes, sorry. Yes, one
No,
point in
no
two other
worries.
skills.
Just making sure I hadn't typed something wrong before.
I'm gonna go ahead and take bioflux,
That's makes sense. Yeah.
and I think communication.
I feel like communication's probably a good one for you.
Yeah, yeah. I'm gonna be a talker. I'm gonna be a talking mastermind.
You're like a smart mastermind.
Smart, like a smart mastermind. That's
Listen,
quite the
it's been
descriptor.
a while since we streamed. Okay.
Yeah, which is why I have such an issue switching between screens right now. Jesus.
That's all right.
Okay.
Uh,
Did we pick our pick out ancestry?
Currently, Gnome is in the lead, so I'm gonna say Gnome, mostly because I'm gonna take that Chris voted for a Gnome because he wants to know if there's still BS or not.
Okay. Are gnomes BS? Now we find out. Um,
It has been over a year since I think I did any streaming stuff.
so, are gnomes BS? So, I'm not going to write all this down, but you can get the idea. Um, so, by me choosing a gnome, it does mean that I am a smaller creature. So, while I do take a 1 by 1 size, I am overall a little bit smaller. And people who throw me are going to get advantage on throwing me. I do have smaller pockets. Um, so it is a little harder for me to conceal items.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a little slower. However, I do have enhanced essence. So unlike other creatures, I do have 4 available essence slots. And finally, I get 3 benefits. Now, of these benefits, I get 3 points that I can spend on benefits. Now, that's going to be one of the big changes with T2, is that you're in the old version, you would basically get 1 benefit that you would roll randomly for. In this one, you get to basically choose and customize your character a little bit by selecting your own benefits. Excuse me. So I get to choose 3 benefits, 3 points, as I wish. Um, so I'm just gonna pick a couple that look fun to me.
Go for it.
So I think I'm gonna choose Ben's Sight, which is always a favorite.
Probably good for a mastermind.
So Ben's Sight allows me to literally look at 90-degree angles. Costs me 1 momentum to activate. Are there more down here? There are. Okay. Uh,
Yeah, there's quite a few benefits.
yeah, there sure are.
Might I suggest Tiny is harder to hit?
I was just looking at that one. That looks fun.
Thanks.
All right, tiny is harder to hit. So what is this? If you are attacked while bound or off guard, you still treat yourself as having a 1 in the attribute for determining your defense. Okay.
One of the words we have to fix because it's not an actual thing in the game.
And then, ooh, what about noiseless? I'm not really sneaky, so I don't know.
Oh, that should be prone, not bound.
Oh, that makes sense.
That makes more sense. Yeah, sneaky. Yeah, deep pockets. You're gonna be a mastermind. You're gonna be like a salesman of sorts.
Yeah, deep pockets could be cool.
Yeah, especially if you wind up going down the.
Oh yeah, deep pockets is cool. Let's do that one.
All right, so you got bin sight, deep pockets, and tiny is harder to hit.
All right.
Which, for those wondering, did you read what tiny is harder to hit does?
No, will you?
Yeah, I got you. I'll just read them all. So bin sight, you can binge your sight, literally allowing you to see around a wall or over a building for 1 momentum. You can binge your sight up to 90 degrees. The sight bending lasts for approximately 1 round or 6 seconds. Deep pockets. No one knows quite how you do it, but you can make the items significantly larger than yourself vanish into thin air. You can conceal both light and medium items. So normally only light items would be considered concealable. With that, you can actually conceal even a medium item, so a sword. And then tiny is harder to hit. If you are attacked while you are prone or off guard, which would normally lose your dexterity bonus or wisdom bonus to your defense, respectively, you still treat yourself as having a 1 in the attribute to determine your defense. So instead of losing his, let's say Daniel's gnome was knocked prone, instead of losing his 2 to his defense, he would actually still have 1, which, can help quite a bit when you get knocked prone. Uh, are you going to take a drawback, Daniel?
You think I should?
There's only one drawback, so I was just checking.
Well, actually, there's quite a few drawbacks I can take at the end of the chapter.
Oh, I forgot.
Um,
Oh, there are general drawbacks, aren't there?
yeah, I'm having a hard time formatting this document. There we go. Good enough. Yeah. I crossed out my fifth wound slot? No, that's wrong. I want to cross out my fifth essence slot. I know what I'm
If
doing.
you, oh god, that's a weird one.
All right.
Hmm.
Yeah, I don't think I'm going to take any drawbacks today, but I will talk about them briefly.
Yeah, go for it.
Um, so you can choose from drawbacks to give yourself kind of bonus benefits. Um, for example, you might have an arm prosthesis. You might be disorganized, just prone to losing things. You might be prone to fainting, which can be kind of dangerous in the middle of battle. Um, you might suffer from social exhaustion, where if you roll social and receive no successes, you take damage. That's intense.
I'm glad you didn't make a social character because you would have taken that just to be.
I don't know. I'm now kind of tempted. It's just, um,
Listen, if you take the that's two drop point drawback. Wow.
yeah. It's kind of bad. Yeah, social exhaustion is mood. I definitely know how I was feeling when I was writing this. Um,
Oh, someone asked. That's a good question. Says I think Daniel should take three drawbacks. Is that allowed?
no, so you can only take up to 2 points of drawbacks. So the maximum number of drawbacks that you can have is a value equal to 2 points. So if I chose to take this heavy-footed one, that is a 2 point drawback. Like that's it. That's the only drawback I can have. Um, the exception to this is that your narrator, through the course of play, might provide you with drawbacks. So, let's get into a story example. Your character loses their arm um, in the middle of combat. Now, you now have a 2 point drawback in addition to any other drawbacks that you took during character creation. What that means now is that like the next time that you level up, you could go back and you now have 2 more points to get benefits for. So you can spend those 2 benefit points as you wish on something else while keeping that new narrator given uh, missing arm drawback. So yeah, as what we kind of expect is that through the course of leveling, as you tell stories, as your character gets scars, um, those scars will kind of come with a balancing reward point. So you might get that scar of losing your arm, but that gives you the opportunity to go and get some more benefits. But okay, I've
Yep.
now taken my. I'm a gnome. I got good eyes, kind of small.
Got big pockets.
Got big pockets. Okay.
It has pockets.
Um.
Now you need to be in a kilt and just say it has pockets.
Yeah, pockets. One big pocket.
I don't want to put more thought into that than I already did.
Yeah, you're good.
Okay, so you picked your ancestry, you picked your drawbacks. Now it's time for your specialties, Daniel.
It is time for my specialties.
How many specialties do you get?
I get 2 specialties.
Can you guys count to two? One.
Two.
What comes after one?
Uh. All right. So we kind of have specialties divided into a few different categories. Um. This.
It's like having Affleck and Tephra. Damn it. None of your business is really good with the jokes in chat.
So the first selection of specialties are your general specialties. Now we've tried to kind of build these out so that you can easily skim which things are available to you at first level. Um, so I could be looking at alternate methods, animal companion, um, athletic build, which I guarantee you my character does not have.
Listen, we know the chat's gonna vote for animal companion at some point. Everyone wants an animal
I
companion.
think that you're the one pushing for animal companion. I don't know. Though I am a gnome, which means that I could get a medium-sized animal companion and it would still be writable, which is kind of fun. Hmm.
I mean, I'm just saying.
Now I'm pushing for animal companion. Damn.
Exactly. I know what you're Daniel, that was also the specialty that we made at ChupacabraCon.
Yeah, it's true. True. And
Duelist
gnomes are
gnome.
cool. Yeah.
Oh, someone posted their first character.
Wait, really? We got our first character post?
Yes, his name is Stone. He's an automaton. He's an aesthetic brawler.
Aesthetic.
I think is that not aesthetic?
It's
No,
it's aesthetic.
es,
It's a
es,
characterized by or suggesting the practice of severe self-discipline and
gotcha.
abstention from all forms of indulgence, typically for religious reasons. Ascetic.
Ah, so kind of a monk-like character.
Yes.
Ooh. Oh, I already love this character. What level?
Do you like them
Level
more than
3.
my character?
I mean, they made a level 3 character, so I'm just saying.
Ooh.
I'm gonna. Well, so yeah. Do you want me to read this real quick?
I mean, if you're excited, I mean,
I think it's pretty cool. They took so the main automaton. They took they have Lucky Break. Their specialties they took were improvised weaponry, swing and slam, and dirty tactics plus easy called shots.
hmm.
Which, as Daniel, if you remember, dirty tactics and easy called shot was the one that made you laugh because it was inspired by the first edition Tephra abilities
Oh yes.
and being able to hit someone and then go, you know what, that's a called shot now.
Oh yeah, that one's great.
Especially with some improvised weaponry and the swing and slam. Yeah, they built a big meaty character.
Ooh.
I like it
With a shillelagh.
with a shillelagh. Uh,
Nice. Oh, and their equipment includes other stuff. IDK.
that's fine. They'll figure it out one day. Uh, boop. I erected yours too. Forgot to do that. That's smart.
Yeah, it's a good character.
How
All
to
right.
jump
I'm gonna
levels.
go back to my character now.
Yes, that's fine. I assumed you were reading your specialties and deciding what kind of animal companion you wanted.
All right. I see that I have been strong armed, and am now taking animal companion.
What do you mean strong arm? Do whatever you want. It's your character. Let the chat vote.
I don't believe you.
All right. I don't care.
All right.
Listen, someone talked about duelists. Someone else mentioned dirty tactics for you.
I've seen dirty tactics on like several characters recently.
Mm.
Um, so clearly it is very popular, but
You do also have Jack. Wait.
I really want to slip over to.
Jack of all trades wouldn't be bad for your mastermind.
Um, I really want to pull something from intellect specialties.
Go for it.
So let me.
What does the term jumping levels mean?
What does the term jumping levels mean?
Is that like just leveling up?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay, cool. I my brain was really confused by that for some reason.
yeah. In in T1 there were some issues with regards to like how you figure out your skills and where skills go, and just certain like ways that things get contributed places. So this is a little easier.
Sweet.
Um,
Okay. Then now I understand what they were saying.
I don't know. I think Chocolate's about to correct me. I think I'm mistaken, but we'll find
I
out.
I think he said that T2 is easier to level up.
Cool. I'm
Or
I'm hoping
simpler.
that's true. Uh,
The term jumping levels is now my favorite thing for leveling up. I'm going to use that next time I play D&D with my game. It's like, DM, can we jump levels?
so the next thing I want to talk about is just general intellect specialties. So we have a whole chapter for intellect specialties,
We do.
and what this means is that before you even look at this chapter, you need to have an intellect of 3 or higher. Um, Now, thankfully, I am playing a mastermind. I have an intellect of 3, so I get to look at this chapter. If I was not smart enough to look at this chapter, I couldn't come here.
You know, that sentence makes me think maybe you shouldn't be in this chapter. The pacing of that sentence makes me question that intellect of 3.
No, no, I have an intellect of 3. I don't have a social of 3.
Ah, you have an average. So, hey, your social's higher than Tad's was.
Yeah, not saying much.
It's fair. Ooh,
Experienced a
people are
failure.
already looking up. That's pretty cool. People are already looking up the specialties, I think, or they're reading them in the chat in the stream.
Yeah, I mean either way, it's exposure. That's what I care about.
Yeah, I'm actually really proud of experienced failure.
Experience failure. Ooh, what is that? So once per round, if you roll no successes on a roll, you gain 1 momentum. That's dope.
Hmm.
I mean, like that's real good.
Which kind of fits with your character of like boosting your skills you do have. So if you're doing skills you don't have, you're hopefully getting something out. Either you're succeeding or you're getting something out of it.
Mm.
It really much feeds into your making skill check
Hey, can
vibe.
someone in the chat make a note in our Discord that we need to replace the word medicine with bioflux? That would be cool. Yeah, we have a lot of skills that require medicine right now. We don't
D-
have that skill.
n-
Oops,
nah,
I forgot to fix
nah.
that.
Hey, Daniel, do you want me to make a like feedback channel or typo channel?
Ooh, feedback or typo channel sounds dope.
Okay. I'll make yeah. You know what? I'll do a typo channel and I'll do a feedback channel.
Okay, let's just do lots of channels.
I mean, it makes it easier to find them later.
I see no reason to not go with experienced failure. Like I kind of like that. Um, I also just like the idea of my character just being real good at failing.
Oh, you didn't. What did you, Daniel?
Did I do something wrong?
You didn't make the uh. Hang on. The category you made is not actually like dedicated to the Patreon. So when I made a channel, it didn't
Oh yeah, I have to make it.
Patreon exclusive.
Yeah, I make them private first, and then I add Patreon roles to it.
Uh
I
yeah, you
don't
can
know the
just
better route. Please fix it.
yeah, okay, hang on. So the people that are allowed in here are us,
Us.
moderators,
All right.
Patreon.
So animal companion and experience failure. So experience failure, I like that. So every time I roll, is it a?
I, I'm so sorry, chat, if that was loud.
It was not.
There.
It wasn't
Okay, good.
loud.
There was
Yeah.
a bug.
Okay, yeah. So if I receive no successes on a roll, I gain 1 extra momentum. That's that's gnarly. I like that.
Yes, which is also useful because your other ability, which uses a lot of momentum up.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I'm gonna be spending a lot of momentum on obstacles, and this will help
Hmm.
refeed my obstacles. Ooh, ooh, how exciting!
Exciting. Okay. Not. No. How do I?
All right. So this also means that I now have my hit points.
Private.
Oh, and that field is not wanting to be editable. Boop, boop. So 18, 27, 25 hit points.
Mm-hmm.
And I have 19 wound threshold. Um, oh, hey, for everyone who hasn't played this new version, so wound threshold is also kind of a new thing, which I like this system. So my character has a wound threshold of 19. What that means is that if someone rolls and they hit me and they deal damage equal to 19 or greater, I am wounded. Um, Now, if they wound me with a dagger, that's going to deal physical damage to me. Um, and physical is going to make me disabled or disadvantaged, which gives me like I lose one die on every roll. If they hit me with an electric weapon, then I might be shocked, and I'm going to take a penalty to my defense while I'm shocked. And each different kind of status does a different kind of wound effect. What you'll find in combat is that it becomes really good for your different characters to have different kind of wound effects that they can then apply to enemies. Um, so one person might benefit from having an electric sword while someone else has a fiery, grenade launcher, while someone else is dealing physical damage. And having that kind of like mix and match of different effects in the party is going to be really great for kind of stacking on effects onto enemies. But yeah, so I have a 19 wound threshold, which is not a significant number. It's pretty low considering that several characters start with a 20 wound threshold. But that's the benefit of being a mastermind.
Okay. I think I fixed it.
Nice, thank you.
Yes.
Thank you for the fixing.
Also, that would explain why some people were not in the update log.
Oh, were they not? That's
It was freaking out because it was trying to override itself and follow a rule.
oh wow, that seems problematic.
Yeah.
All right,
Anyway, there's a typos and proofreading thing now.
typos and proofreading. All right, where am I? I apologize for my flashing screen. I don't like it. It's annoying. Um, we have my specialties, so I'm just gonna scroll and scroll until I hit the gear chapter. Now, for gear, I get 100 princes that I get to spend as a first level character. Um, I also have a certain number of slots based on my brawn. So, quick note here: each item takes up a certain number of slots. So, your typical medium weapon takes up 2 slots. A light weapon is 1 slot. A heavy weapon is 3 slots. And then everything else also takes up a couple slots. So, depending on how I build out my character, I'm going to be hitting that encumbrance really quickly because I have a 1 brawn. But I do have 100 princes to spend, so let's see how I can spend that. Now, I got to tell you, I'm immediately excited about the fact that we have bioinvigorators as a base item. So I can jump right down here, buy a bioinvigorator, and I am now the party healer. So that request earlier for me to play the physician, I'm going to do that with a mastermind. So I think I'm going to take a bioinvigorator, and I'm going to spend half my money on it. Don't mind me, I'm just buying a big gun.
Which one you buying?
Um,
The light, medium, or heavy?
heavy,
Heavy. So
heavy.
two-handed.
Yep. So heavy bioinvigorator.
Hey Daniel,
Yeah.
is that a gun in your pocket, or are you just happy to heal me?
That-
Yeah.
okay.
Do you regret hiring me now? It's been years. Do you finally regret it?
um. Oh, hey, since we're all here, um, bioinvigorators use intellect and bioflux. What that means is that intellect, which is my attribute, I have 3 intellect, so I'm going to be using 3 dice. Um, Now, of those dice, one of them is going to be upgraded to a d20. So I have 2 d12s and 1 d20 for that character for using that bioinvigorator. All right. I'm not going to fill in all the other items just yet, but we'll get there. Um, or all the other parts of the item. Yeah. What else should I take now? So, I have one healing weapon. That's not really a weapon. That's not going to keep me safe at night. Um,
Order in the day. I'm
yeah.
so sorry. I can't stop. This is your fault.
Well, so I can't afford like a heavy firearm because that would also be
Uh,
50 princes.
right. Hey, real quick. Might I suggest you maybe get a medium fire bioinvigorator since you can hide it?
Oh, with my deep pockets?
Yeah, because then you could like
Ooh.
bioinvigorate one hand and like have a firearm in the other hand.
Okay.
You
That
could
only
like
cuts
flip.
off 5 feet, so that's not a bad idea. Oh,
Yeah,
I can dual wield.
yeah. It's all. Yeah.
Ooh, okay. Cool. Now with so I have a medium firearm and a medium bioinvigorator. No, I think that's going to
That,
come out to
that
75
you can
princes.
hide in your
50
deep
princes.
pockets.
Yeah.
Thus the reason I had the joke.
Solid. Oh, that's real bad. I like it. Uh, Now my next step is I get to fill in my defense. Um, so I have a 2 in dexterity and a 2 in wisdom. So I'm probably going to end up taking light armor. I'm going to guess that off the bat.
You could take light or medium. I think technically.
Oh yeah, maybe medium. Yeah, you're right.
I will say, if you do medium, that is half your princes.
Oh, I don't have that because I'm already down to 30 princes.
Oh, then yeah, it'd be light
So
armor, so
light armor it
15.
is.
Wow, so you have 15 princes to spend on gear.
Yep. So I'm down to my last 10,
15 if
15.
you had
Thank you.
30. Yep.
All right. That's
Now,
the
where's
cost of
the?
having the bioinvigorator.
They're expensive.
Yeah, they are. But my party is gonna love me when I heal them every round.
That's true. Listen, you're a gnome that you can snuggle up in a sleeping bag.
um, and then do I get a buckler? Maybe that is the
I
end of my money.
Well, Daniel, if you get a buckler, how are you going to dual wield?
I know, but I mean, yeah, you're probably right.
I feel like you might want to like buy a backpack or like some sort of adventure gear.
Okay, well then I will use my last 10 princes.
You have
No,
15.
15. I keep doing that. Um,
I,
oh, so I think the standard adventuring pack is like 6.
it's fairly cheap because you can get a
Yeah.
backpack for 5.
Maybe
You
I
can
don't need a
get a.
backpack. I have deep pockets.
That's. I mean, you're not wrong,
I also have great eyes. So I
but
probably don't even need
but
a
the
lamp.
But the backpack does hold 5 inventory slots with items for 1 inventory slot.
Is that how it works?
Yeah. I gave stats to items and like uses, reasons to actually own them.
Oh.
Otherwise, it never made sense to buy a backpack in a game
But it
outside of that.
requires it requires a maneuver to retrieve it from the backpack.
It's just, yeah. So it's not
Okay.
for like quick things. It's for like, I'm going to store my tent in there and like stuff like that.
Oh, okay, that's cool. And that's great because I didn't think about it, but I'm probably running out of slots because
What is your brawn?
it's a 1.
So you have 10 slots, I think.
Yeah, so I
You
think I'm at
are
6 slots right now. So yeah, that makes sense.
okay. Your armor is 2.
Yep.
Your invigorator is 2. I believe your firearm is also 2.
2.
Yeah, you're at 6.
Yeah, 6.
So a backpack might not be the worst idea.
Yeah. Um, so medium firearm, light armor, backpack,
Mm-hmm.
and then basic adventuring gear for 6 princes, and I am down
Something like
to
that.
4 princes on hand.
Yeah.
I will admit I'm rounding that up just a little bit for the sake of speed, but here we are.
Yeah, there is. We do have an actual like adventure bag somewhere. I just don't know where it is.
Yeah, we need to move it, but it is currently over in character creation actually.
Oh, I'll go to it and check it.
Um,
Eh,
yeah, so during character creation it mentions a backpack, handcuff, knife, and lantern. Oh, our backpack price is wrong.
where
In the um,
character creation?
character creation, yeah,
Gotcha.
because we referenced something that we updated later. It was a problem. Yeah,
Ah, yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah,
one of those.
yeah. So 11. So 10 princes. It's 10 princes. That's what it was.
Yeah,
So you have 5 left.
I have 5 left. You know what? I'm gonna keep it for bribes.
That's fair. And then really, that's only if you take handcuffs for whatever reason.
That's true. I want handcuffs. That's important.
Fair enough. What specialties did you wind up taking? I was busy doing stuff.
Oh, I took the experience failure
Right. That one
and
I got.
animal companion.
Oh, you did take it. All right, cool. What kind of animal did you get?
Oh, I'm getting a big cat.
Nice.
Yeah, that's.
I
Let's talk about
I
that for a bit
literally
though.
I can't remember, but I'm pretty sure Sharpest Knives used to be on this stream with us.
Um,
I think that might be our great friend Jess Seth, also known as Max, but I can't remember now.
please excuse me as I scroll.
Oh, it is Max. Okay, that explains so much more.
Yeah. So okay. So I get an animal companion. I'm gonna choose a medium animal companion.
Nice.
That animal companion gets 2 behaviors.
Okay.
So these are my animal companion stats, which if I
Hmm.
was gonna play this character, I'd totally jot down somewhere. Um, it acts on my turn. Now I get to choose 2 behaviors to give it. Um, so we have this divided into movement behaviors and general behaviors. So if I wanted it to be able to attack, I would have to take the attack action behavior.
Yep.
Um, I do want it to be a mount, so I am going to
Makes
give
sense.
it the mount
Fair enough.
behavior.
Large cat.
Yep. Oh, and I don't have a like melee weapon, so maybe I should take the attack option.
That's true.
Hmm.
You guys are
Uh,
gonna people in the chat are gonna make me cry because our Patreon keeps going up as we're talking right now. It's really motivating.
oh, that's great. I love that.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And although it'd be super cool to have climbing, and then I could like have a cat that I'm like mounted on. It climbs. Ooh, yeah, I have to do that. I'm doing that. Yep. I'm just gonna make some notes. Medium animal, big cat, mount, climbing.
Big cat.
Yep. Yeah.
What's your cat's name?
Hmm. I don't know. We might have to leave it up to the chat.
I love that Max asked the same question I did as I did it. It's Oh yeah, thank you for the that's because right now if you could see behind me, you would see my mech models of Shane.
Mech models of shame?
Yeah, you want to see?
Sure.
Okay. I have a bunch of mech models I haven't built. How do I do this? I don't remember how to do anything. Visual effects. Yeah, okay, hang on, ready? Magic! Look at all those mech models I haven't built yet.
Oh, that's what you're saying.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Also, like all the like random my desk is a horrific mess.
It's a work area.
It is. It's a great work area. There's like random convention stuff in that box back there that I have to go through still. But yeah, that's my all my mech models that I haven't built yet. So don't tell one of the people in this chat who buys me mech models that I haven't finished building them all yet. I hope they know. It's actually not that bad of a backlog. Sorry, random rant. It's really not that bad.
Okay.
I got maybe a dozen out of the like more than I don't want to say the number.
More than you like.
More than I want to admit right now. But I don't have an addiction.
Oh, okay. So hold up. Um, I also get 2 more points from my specialties to put in skills.
You do.
So
Is it just because some give you more? That's why I wasn't sure.
yeah. So I'm gonna add 1 more in bioflux, and I really want one in survival.
That's fair. Not gonna. Uh, hey Daniel, here's a good question. Can you just like supercharge up uh a single skill by getting specialties?
Yep, sure can.
Huh. Feel as though we might want to fix that.
Hmm.
I guess it's not bad, but I guess it's really only level 1 that it happens.
Yeah, yeah, it is.
Yeah, because the other ones you have to put them in separate. Never mind then. That's fine.
It might be fine. We might find out in playtesting it's not fine.
That I mean, for one specific skill, you could roll 3d20s.
Yes, it would be. You'd be very good at one thing.
You could be very good at healing.
Mm-hmm. Which I think a lot of people would appreciate.
That's true. Mahogany. I don't have ADHD. You have ADHD.
What?
I don't know.
um,
I get distracted by chat sometimes. I think aren't you almost done building?
I don't think I have like anything left aside
Uh,
from.
yeah, no, you. Oh wait, name your character, Daniel.
That is true. That is the next important
Well,
part.
technically, we do have things. You have to make sure your hit points are done and your wound threshold is done.
Okay, got my hit points, got my wound threshold.
Is your initiative done?
Is my I just filled it in. I got 2.
Nice. Are all of your action dice filled in for any actions you have?
My damage is not filled in.
Okay. Well, and then your momentum. What is your momentum?
My momentum default is 2.
Good.
That's
Then
equal to
yeah,
my wisdom score.
exactly. Which all you have to do is, hey Daniel, how do you determine initiative?
Ah, that's equal to your wisdom determination.
Nice. Hey Daniel, I have one more question before you finish. How do you determine how much damage you deal since you're doing damage on your weapon?
Ah, darn it. You have to ask me the tough question. Okay, so I have a medium firearm.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna 6, 13, 21,
I'll
6,
I'll I'll read it off to you
13,
if you want.
21, 30, 40.
40. Yeah.
Cool. So when I go to use my medium firearm, I'm gonna roll my 3d12s. Ooh, which is actually only 2d12 because I only have two decks. Darn. I'm gonna roll my 2d12s, and each die that is equal to my opponent's defense is a success. So let's imagine a scenario where I was going to shoot myself in the foot. My defense is a 6. I would roll 2d12s, and each time they got a 6, that would deal damage. So if I got one success, it would be 6 damage, and if I got two successes, it would be 13 damage.
Okay.
And that pretty well sums it up.
It does. So I'm writing down all the suggested names just to make sure I don't miss them.
Oh no.
Because for some reason, that's out of all the things we've had them help us with, the cat naming was the one that they went crazy for.
That doesn't surprise me. I mean,
It doesn't surprise me either.
cat
Would
names,
you
it's
like?
great.
All right, so we have Mambo the Fifth, Gloria, Skyr D. I don't.
SkyRD.
Uh, Angela Pamela Sandra Rita Jr.
Is that one name?
Yes. I don't know if it's actually Junior or it's Angela Pamela Sandra Rita Jr. Pablo was also suggested. And then yeah, the suggestion for Gloria was the cat's name is Gloria and your name is Mambo.
It, I'm not very good at references, and sometimes I hear things and I wonder if they're references.
Mambo number 5.
That's kind of what I was wondering. Is there a Mambo number
I
5
mean, it's
reference?
Mambo the Fifth. Yeah, Mambo the Fifth. Mambo number 5.
Oh, Mambo the Fifth. Okay, okay, okay.
The problem is you didn't have it set to Wombo.
I don't know. Now, there's a part of me that's just kind of looking like I kind of like Pablo.
Pablo's a good name.
But I feel like Pablo's just a nice name for a cat.
Yeah. Oh, a little
Oh,
bit.
of course
Is
it
it?
is. Yeah,
A little bit.
that makes
Oh, it
sense.
is. Wow.
Um,
Damn.
you know what I realized, Jake, is that in our bioinvigorator section, it doesn't tell us what our target number is, and I think it should
Oh.
just be 10.
It should just be it should be
Yeah.
just like healing, yeah.
Yep.
Uh
But yeah.
hey, Tyler, I see you in there. Uh Target number 10 for bioinvigorators.
Just abusing our Discorders. Oh, but anyway, it's called a playtest. We're making notes.
Listen, if I have to type all day long doing this. If I don't have to type for a little bit, I'm gonna count it as like my victory. Also, if you are doing that, thank you, buddy. If not, I'll do it later.
All right, so Mambo the Fifth and Wombo the Fifth is
He
really
did it.
funny to me.
He did it.
Well, thank you.
Tyler's a good man.
All right, so I think the cat's name is Pablo,
All right.
but now I need my name, which I just want to be like owner of Pablo,
That's fair. Owner.
or
That sounds like the most mastermindy name ever.
feeder
Like you
of
sound
Pablo.
like a villain. This is Pablo, and I am owner of Pablo. You sound like Prince didn't quite get the formerly known as Prince name. Or like you were a big fan of Prince and you thought, yeah, that's how names work. Pablo and the guy that Pablo chills with. Pablo and his escort.
Pablo's minion.
Pablo's minion. Turns out Pablo's the mastermind all along.
Yes, I'm just playing a cat with a gnomish backpack. And my gnomish backpack has deep pockets and its own backpack.
Okay, wait a second. How would you theoret? I mean, technically speaking, you
Pablo's
could do
backpack.
that if you were an automaton. Like be an automaton with an animal companion and just say that you're the cat and you made the that's God, that's weird.
All right, no, I'm good on this one. I am Pablo's backpack, and the cat's name is Pablo.
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 Pablo and Pablo's backpack. Back wow. Dora can do it, I can't.
Oh,
This is what happens when I miss a convention. I get slap happy. Pronounced scaredy cat.
all right. I think I'm done.
It took me about an hour, and that was an hour of us like kind of dicking around and joking. So,
Yeah, talking about things.
and we were explaining the system. And you're kind of like showing it off. So honestly, it's not too bad.
Yeah.
I'll say that's better than the first time I made a Tephra character in first edition.
I mean, I definitely feel like I could have done it faster if I didn't have a live audience. But,
That's true.
you know, the live audience made it more fun.
Tore up in this mofo.
Um, just real quick, so that y'all know
Mm-hmm.
how medicines work, just so I can explain it. Um,
Yes.
or how not how medicines work, how crafting works. So
Using medicines as an example.
yes, using medicines as an example. So if you decide that you're going to be a crafter, and you want to craft, say, medicines, then you could come in here to the medicine section. You would choose medicine crafting as your specialty, which I could do. Pablo's backpack could be a medicine crafter. Could be a really great second level specialty for me.
Yeah.
Um, as soon as I take the specialty, I can now craft all medicines for half price. Um, in addition to that, I get a certain number of free medicines. Um, so because I have a 3 intellect, I would look at this chart. I have 3 intellect. That means I get 3 augments to choose. And I can choose from anything in either the 2 intellect or 3 intellect section for free. So I could take, 2 heal ups and an intellect booster. I could take 1 pain reliever, 1 wisdom booster, and 1 adrenaline shot. I have some different options there, for how I want to play that. If I got up to 4 intellect, then it would allow me to choose from these augments. Um, and now during a period of downtime, I can go in and I can replace anything that I used. So, if we're out doing an adventure, I use all of my healing potions. I can come in and I can get replacements during my downtime. And that's basically how crafting works. And then here's all the actual items that you could craft with medicines.
Or at least the ones that we have finished at the moment.
Yeah, the ones that we've posted.
Yeah. There's some more fun ideas, but we really wanted to get this out so people could start playing around with it. Acquire. Oh, like the.
Oh, I
Hmm.
love that.
Okay, yeah.
Oh
Because then
yeah,
you
we're
that way
doing
you
that.
if you're looking at it, you can go, cool. Can I make this with my DIY? My intellect's not high enough. No, I have to buy it. That's not bad.
Yeah,
I
that's
liked it a lot. Yeah.
a great idea. Um, armor is a little bit better done. I want to see if I did that with armor or did something. Okay, so with armor, I do have an armor overview that gives you a list of everything that's available in the armor section, as well as the intellect required to craft it. Um, but I do really like the idea of including it in the augment itself. I think that would be real slick. So
Yeah.
yes, A plus, well done, good idea.
Make it so. Uh,
Um, Thekuki
thank you.
asks, playtest at Emerald Tavern when? Um, I would say playtest at Emerald Tavern soon. uh,
Dude, their burgers were really good.
I think that was Vigilante.
No, no. I went to Emerald Tavern
Oh,
for
did
my
you?
birthday when I
Oh,
was in
you
Austin. Yeah.
did. That's right.
Yeah, I went their private room yeah, we went and played D&D in the private room, just the two of us, and ate food and like quiet. It was fun.
Oh, that's awesome. That's super
Yeah.
good.
Oh yeah, their food is delicious. Like I'm really happy with where they are now.
That's great.
Um, Daniel, Sanochi asks, could you explain Bioflux a little bit?
Ooh, yes, I can. Um, Bioflux is we've moved it over to just being a skill, um, and it is a skill that encompasses everything that is medicine oriented, body augmentation oriented. It deals with essence and mutations and bioinvigorators, um, and in time we'll have more things like that. So basically it's anything that is about um, changing or tweaking or altering your biology. So that's Bioflux in a nutshell. To that point, so we are starting off with a craft called Essence Mutations. And Essence Mutations, you can, if you were to take this, you could apply various mutations to yourself, and they would take up essence slots. Um, so on my character sheet, my gnome has 4 available essence slots. So if I was in a party with a essence mutation crafter, maybe I could ask them to give me some essence slot upgrades, or I could pay for some essence mutation upgrades, and get those kind of built in. So, say I wanted to get Burning Touch, which allows me to convert my unarmed attack into heat damage for 1 momentum. I could buy that from someone for 400 princes, or if I had a friend who was a crafter, they could do it for me for 200 princes. And it takes up one of my essence slots. Now, later, if for any reason that essence slot is disabled, then I would lose access to that Burning Touch ability. But, we'll kind of see that as the game advances and as we introduce more monsters and magic abilities.
Listen here, you son of a bitch. No, it's fine. Go ahead.
I was just coughing. I don't know what's up.
But someone's gonna
Yes.
clip that and just go, Daniel confirmed it. Then we have to go back and clip that thing where it says anything Daniel says right now is not technically canon, but might be one day.
Yeah, so like my real job is like working within like these kind of big like software systems, and every time I go to the conferences, like every time they do any presentation, they have like these safe harbor statements that legally they have to say be like anything that we say during this presentation should not be taken as canon or forward looking or real. Uh, so yeah, I'm like, should we just start doing that with ours? Should we just add a safe harbor statement to all of our streams? Anything
Mm.
I say cannot be used against me.
Hmm. I think there's actually like, is there an example? I think we made one. I made one essence ability.
Did you?
I'm looking. I gotta look at. I think I made a bronze specialty that
I
used
did
an
not expect it to
essence.
be in Brawn, to be honest.
Hang on, let me find it. I'll try to see if it's there. There is. I did. You could go look. Show them smites and wisdom.
Oh, I'm literally there right now. Does that use essence?
It does not, but we
Oh.
had debated making it. We debated to make
Okay.
it. I'm also distracting you while I look for the thing.
Yeah, that was quite the red herring there. Um,
It was, but it's. I was also proud of that, and that was a pretty cool concept we made.
I did want to add just a little bit to Takuyuki's question about playtesting. So I personally am up in like the Round Rock area of Austin right now. So I've been looking at there's a gaming store called Games Castle, or Castle Games, which during ChupacabreCon earlier this year they invited us to go play there regularly. Um,
Macaroni.
yes, yeah, yeah. They had a dog named Macaroni.
Yeah, he
Um,
was so sweet.
so they look like they have a pretty good space for that. And I want to go by there and talk to them about that because I think that could be nice. But I do agree that Emerald Tavern was a pretty dope setup. Um,
Hmm.
so I do like the idea of running games there.
Hey, shout out because I know a lot of the guys, a lot of people that are like watching are in that area. Go check out. Is it Game Castle or Castle Games? I can't remember.
Castle Games, yeah, yeah, with a K,
Go check
Castle.
them. Yeah, go check them out. They were the sweetest people. Because Max and I were leaving ChupacabraCon, and they were like, "Hey, you should stop by the store." And I had to be like, "Hey, man, we're leaving at like 8 in the morning on Monday." And he goes, "We can open up early for you." And I was like, "No, no, 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 don't do that. That's sweet. Please don't do that if you don't have to." But yeah, they were the sweet because they're closed on Mondays, and they're just gonna like they said they'd open it up and like let us come hang out or whatever. Game Castle, yeah. They're super nice. Go check them out. Macaroni was a cool service dog there. Adrenaline Surge. That was what I did. Was one of the ones that had essence slot use. It was actually the first brawn specialty.
It's the first bronze specialty, really?
Yeah. It's kind of a weird one. I took a. It's inspired by Core Plus. From Retroscape,
Oh,
but it's yeah. Page
yeah, I'm there.
53.
Yeah. Um,
Yeah.
oh, 53 for everyone watching.
Yeah.
But Adrenaline Surge, you spend um,
So you get a supply of surges that you can use up, and then if you use them all, you could spend an essence slot to get some back.
interesting. And every time you
Yeah.
use one of them, you restore 6 hit points to yourself.
Yep.
Nice.
You also can so there's an upgrade to it called Straining Blow, which lets you use up some of that supply. So I kind of like played a little bit with that idea, like your essence is acting like a battery, so you can kind of like keep yourself in the battlefield. Again, like I said, very inspired by what we did with Core Plus, but I really wanted to see if I could make it work with essence. So then if you look at like Straining Blow, which is I think 56, uh, you can like it does the damage thing, but it uses up some of the adrenaline surge. So you have two uses of it now, so you could spin essence slots to start getting more uses.
Oh wow, you can. That is a huge damage bonus. That's awesome.
Yeah, I figured make it big.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's
That
gonna it's gonna
yeah,
knock some people out.
one of the goals is to try and make more things like that. Is more of those like use up abilities
Hmm.
because we talked about like wanting to make. I think you talked about it really well with Tephra 1.0. Like Retroscape in the Volcanic RPG engine is really good at like teamwork does really make the dream work kind of moment.
Yeah.
And Tephra First Edition definitely had moments where like one person shined them like in a situation, which is fine when you want everyone to like have their moment. But combat was like sometimes really if you didn't build a combat character, combat wasn't your thing and you basically needed to like hide. But what you do with like Inventor and like Mastermind, I think kind of made it so they can work together really well. Even if you're not going to be a combat focused character, you can still add to combat really well. But yeah.
So, Jake, should what do you think? Do we call it here? Do we talk about lore? Do we answer questions that people may or may not have? Or do we
Uh,
run a combat? Oh no, sorry, Brennan's here. We should
we gotta leave. We
we
gotta
gotta
leave. Go,
call
go,
it.
go.
Yep. All right, guys. Yep. Wrap it up.
Uh, no.
um.
Hey,
Well,
someone in Canada just hopped on the Patreon.
it looks like everyone's really into either questions or combat. Is that what I'm seeing? We've
And
got
yeah, totally
multiple
looks like that.
votes for questions or combat. It doesn't seem like anyone's interested in lore.
See, This is my favorite thing right now. What he's doing to you is the opposite of what he does to me, where he goes, Jake, look at this lore I wrote. I'm like, that's awesome, Daniel. He goes, I'm gonna go get to the Discord right now. No, 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 no.
Ah, you heard it here, guys. Jake's the reason why you don't get lore. That's
No, actually, a lot of the people here are gonna get some lore because they're, oh, jokes on you. That's damn it, Brendan. Well played. Sure. Well, Daniel, do you want to talk about like the big thing that happened? Here's Daniel. I'll ask this: do you want to talk about past lore, or do you want to talk about the thing that happened in Tephra 2.0?
uh, uh, I think 2.0. I want to talk about recent
Okay.
stuff.
Okay.
Mostly
So
because the past lore, I think we're still kind of there's some.
we're still figuring it out,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and I think that's going to be much more
I
juicy and
mean,
fun to like post.
oh yeah, man. When we talk about that past lore, ooh, the origins of the elves, the origins of the Aeon, that mystery finally. Oh, anyways, sorry. Yeah, don't want to talk about that. Um,
I don't think it was a bioinvigorator in his pocket anymore. Uh, yeah. So hey, Daniel, there's like this app that you have shown me. I don't know if you've shown that much of it, but if you look at the front of the playtest doc, like the very first page, it's kind of weird art, right?
yeah, yeah, it kind of is. I'm gonna scroll up to the top there.
Yeah.
Um,
It was done by the wonderful Victor Helton, of course.
yeah. So yeah, you'll notice that it kind of looks like a bunch of pieces of land floating in the
Yeah.
air.
Weird.
Yeah. Um,
Uh, so what's that about, Daniel?
yeah, great question, Jake. Great question.
Yeah, no problem.
Um, well, so some number of years back, the Solari system was activated. Now, if you're super familiar with the Salvager Menace, um, the Salvagers were a group of automatons that were constructing the Solari engine, and they were harvesting everything they could to build it. And it kind of became a war. Like Evan Glass was just fighting off these Salvagers who were tearing apart um, everything that they could to come back and construct this extremely complicated Solari engine. Um, well, unfortunately, they succeeded, or maybe fortunately. But as soon as they succeeded, they just shut down. They were good. They had done their job. They called it good. And as the people of Evanglass investigated the Solari system and figured out what it was, they realized that the Solari system was a whole massive engine designed to open a portal to another dimension. And within that portal was a full utopian city for them. Um, Now, if you're real familiar with Tephra lore, you'll know that uh, back in the ancient times, when Evanglass was first founded, which was actually only 180 years ago, um, the founder, Velkia, created three great cities. She created Varsilis, which was then the capital. She created Aldemir, which eventually became the capital. And then she started working on Solari. And then at some point during the Solari time, she shut the whole project down, said, nope, we are not doing that. Just turn it off. Unfortunately, 150 years after her death, the Solari engine was reactivated. And that's what started the whole Salvager Menace.
You know what happens.
Yep. But fast forward, we now have an interdimensional portal. And that is how we kind of got to the next stage. Because the Solari system was shortly thereafter sabotaged. And in that sabotaging, it ripped a rift across the land. And that resulted in the anomaly. The anomaly was a overlapping of our world with other dimensions. It shook the fabric of reality. It released weird elements of magic into the world. It tweaked things that were inexplicable. It created unusual upside down storms around the world. It altered the land. The continents were reshaped. The anomaly touched everything. What we were left with was um, what we were left with was the anomaly kind of splitting across Evanglass. Um, and the anomaly is at times a massive storm, um, but it is also a selection of floating islands, some of which are habitable, many of which are not. Um, the people that had moved into Solari, that had tried to make Solari their new home, Solari is still there, but it is in um, disrepair. And the anomaly kind of really shook up the world politically. So now, everything I'm about to say is, safe harbor statement, not confirmed. I haven't written it down. I'm still tweaking things. But here's the broad strokes. Shortly after Solari was launched, and before the anomaly occurred, um, Evanglest and Zelhost united as one country. And that country became known as the Ethereum. The Ethereum was a new grand empire, kind of united around the idea of Solari. The Evanglesians had worked closely with the Zelhost nobility shortly after the death of Zemarati. They had started to build what they felt like was the future empire of the world. And then when the Solari incident occurred, when the anomaly erupted and split the continent in half, it really put a damper on the empire building that was going on in the Ethereum. For one, Dalus Luthrician, the emperor of the Aetherium, was he considered it to be his fault. He lost his wife into the anomaly. He went hunting for her, and he kind of abandoned his post. He saw it as his fault. Everything was falling apart, um, and in that void, and as Dalus left, um, his new imperial republic was basically bought out. So while he still has a throne, while he's still legally the emperor of the Aetherium, uh, multiple major corporations went through and bought all the noble houses and took control of the parliament. Um, and then shortly thereafter started building their own trusts and monopolies. And now the Ethereum is wholesale run by these major companies. Um, and so really with the Ethereum, we're building a nation that is, kind of quintessentially capitalist steampunk. It is, heavy industry. It is ash and soot everywhere. It is an oppressed people. Um, it is run by these big companies, and the Ethereum is a huge producer. It is a war machine. It is able to create and build quickly, and no one can touch it. But it is run by companies, and you are either part of those companies or you are put out. But on the other side, that did allow for. Um, am I monologuing too much, Jake? You can interrupt me if
I'm
I am.
enjoying it. I'm legit enjoying it so much right now.
Um, so on the other side of the anomaly, in which what was Western Evanglass, which was a little bit more wild, a little bit more Wild West, if we will.
That place don't exist no more.
Yeah, well, uh,
Emphasis on was.
was no. I mean, a large part of it's still there. And over there, what we had previously was this kind of like big political movement of being kind of anti-imperial, very like pro-people, pro-democracy. Um, and after the Evan Civil War, a lot of the militarists had like moved over out to the west, and felt like they were really disenfranchised. And those disenfranchised war veterans, a lot of them became members of the Brimstones. Um, and for those of y'all who remember, the Brimstones were kind of a rough and tumble gang. They were often just known as like bandits or cowboys. Um, they
Yeah.
just do what?
Yeehaw.
Yeehaw! Yeah. Um, but after the anomaly split the country in half, and all of a sudden, that side of Evanglass could not contact kind of the major, you know, um, capital sides of Evanglass. And in that moment, the that side of Evanglass started building its own republic. And now we have the Brimstone Republic on that side. And the Brimstone Republic uh, eventually brought in major elements of the surrounding area, including upper parts of Izida, into the Brimstone Republic. And it is a place that is still pretty Wild West, but it is very progressive. It is very focused on kind of tinkers and what people can do. Um, and really focuses on kind of the human spirit of ingenuity, while also being kind of one of the most diverse uh, areas. Like we have Kui, which is the capital, is both a Aodan and human nation or city. We have Izidans there. We have elves there. There's large gnomish populations. So the Brimstone Republic is quite diverse. Um, I won't kind of dive too much into a lot of the other elements, but I will say Tharmarus is back, now simply known as Tharm. Um, and Tharm has made a good deal with the Salvagers, who were reactivated. So you're going to find a lot of automatons in the Tharm area. Dalvozia has also shifted quite a bit. Um, so much so. They kind of rebelled against their Farishtan masters. And now Davazia is mostly an elven ruled nation, but has a lot of issues going on. Um, and part of the reason they have those issues is because the anomaly released something else into the world. It released demons and spiritual creatures. And what the elves and the Farishtas found out was that by combining those creatures with their own incomplete soul, they could add essence to themselves. So we now call that a packed Farishta. A packed Farishta is one that went out and they found a spirit to inhabit their own body and use that energy to become a Farishta. The In that process, a lot of Farishtas made pacts with demons, and they have created their own nation in the areas of Old Paldoris. So there was a large migration of Farishtas down into Old Paldoris as they created pacts with demons, which sounds bad. It's mostly bad. There's some good. I'm sure some of them like it.
I feel like no one's ever said I made a pact with a demon and it's a good thing.
I mean, like we'll see. We'll see how it plays out for them, right?
That's you know what? That's fair.
Yeah, it should be fun.
That's fair. Uh
Yeah. There's kind of a lot of other things I could go over, but I think that I'm just gonna show this on my screen just for fun. But this is the map that I've been
Oh
working
yeah,
on.
that's fine. It's like,
Um,
what are you showing?
yeah, it's hard to see, so it's
No,
fun.
that's.
It's
I mean,
fun.
that's not bad.
Yeah,
That's cool.
it's not awful.
I think that's a cool thing.
But yeah, the Brimstone Federation is along here. So a lot of this is like Old Izeta. Um, the Paldoran Blightlands is down here. That's going to feature a lot more heavily as well. Um, yes, the demonic Frishta Nation, Lichzig. We're also adding in an Aeodan Nation, the Mavi Protectorate. So after the Hurricane Wars and um,
Oh right, we
after
went
the
over some
Aeodans
of.
kind of united following the Hurricane Wars, they formed the
Yeah,
Mavi Protectorate.
which we touched on some cool ancient lore about something connected to that. I think.
Yeah, yeah, I think we did. Um,
Daniel, I have one thing that I'll let you tease if you want,
ooh, what's that?
or lore. You can tease the gnome conversation if you want
Ooh, the gnome conversation. Are we
about their.
talking about the deep ones?
Yeah, the which kind of leads into the secondary conversation, but I'll say you can talk about the deep ones a little bit, and
Oh.
and hint at what that might entail.
Hmm. So one of the things that we've been talking about more is the attunements. Um, the so gnomes, historically are often like very nature attuned. And for hundreds of years, gnomes thought there wasn't any other way to be a gnome. They just thought that they were naturally nature attuned. Um, but eventually, and especially in recent years, what they've realized is that gnomes actually do grow attunements with their surroundings. Um, so the the gnomes who have ventured into human cities and started working as tinkers or blacksmiths became what the gnomes called was metal crazed, and they've built attunements with these metals. And what they've realized since then is that gnomes um, are much more prone to building attunements with these kind of like elemental or weird effects that they are near. Um, and one of those that we are will at some point be introducing in the lore is the deep stone attuned gnomes, who live deep under the Godgrave Mountains, um, and these deep stone gnomes are very very long lived. They're very slow acting. They are basically immune to the passing of time. Is kind of how they feel. They don't have a
Uh,
reason to come up very often, so they don't show up in the lore very often because they just live deep below.
I'll do a hint. I'll do a tease on top of that. They very much embody their god.
Ooh, they're god. I love that.
I mean, or their deity, whatever term we come up with. They very much
Yeah.
embody that
No, no, no.
deity.
I think you're right. Yeah.
Yeah. Uh, but yeah, the attunement thing was kind of fun. Daniel and I went on a bit of a tirade talking about uh, what else could gnomes potentially become attuned to.
That's true. Um, the Chalklad mentions in the chat that the he's happy to see Tordrion's smug face wiped off the map, and that is quite true. I don't know why you celebrate genocide, but um, yes, the Vis Empire did take over Tordrion. So Tordrion had continued to kind of wage war against the Eoden, and finally Vis, yes, he named his empire after him. Vis invaded Tordrion and very successfully took over. Um, and so now Vis kind of has a uh, I don't know. Is it tenuous or is it strong? I don't know. He has a grasp over all of the Tordrion lands and is
I'd
holding
call
them
it tenuous
hostage.
from what you've talked about.
Yeah, I think it depends on your
Depends on what side of
perspective.
the propaganda you're on.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. But yeah, Vis has taken over Tordrion. So Tordrion is not doing so hot right now. And Vis is a little warlike, so that might be foreboding for others.
Bum bum
Bum bum bum.
bum bum.
Bum 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 bum.
Uh, I know one of the things I want to talk. You kind of talked about the anomaly, just because the anomaly thing is my favorite thing that you've kind of brought into Tephra, and we've like evolved a little bit.
The
But the
anomaly.
idea of like you have that main area that it's affected, right? But
Yes.
we've
Mm-hmm.
talked about like that's the main area, right? But it's not fair that the entire world doesn't randomly have sometimes these weird things happen, right?
Yeah.
So there are potentially, sudden mini anomalies that will occur throughout the world.
Yeah. The anomaly, like you can put it on a map. You can talk about the borders of the anomaly, and they're
Hmm.
relatively consistent. But
Yeah, it's like a reverse eye of the storm.
yeah, yeah. But the anomaly absolutely had a huge impact across the world. Not just with having like kind of random anomaly pockets occurring, but also
Mhm.
just in the ways that the world is quickly finding out that magic did exist. Um, and
What?
yeah, it did. It did exist. And at some point, magic was pulled from the world. Um, and
Hmm.
as part of the anomaly, certain items, certain artifacts, certain areas are becoming slightly more magical again in ways that people don't quite expect.
I love Tobal Kane's message. So does the anomaly help explain homebrew rules or worlds? I mean,
Yes.
that sounds like that sounds awesome. Alternate histories, weird things popping up. Yeah, that sounds fun.
Yep.
Magic's real if you believe hard enough, that Yuki.
Sorry.
I always feel like I get that name wrong too.
Chocolate. About to give my own the amphibious mutation. Hold my beer. That's that's solid. And now I'm over here like, can I give the automaton the amphibious mutation?
I think they still have to breathe, don't they?
Yeah, I think they do. They do breathe.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
which makes me really
Uh,
excited to give them a amphibious mutation.
mm-hmm. Uh, Dan, you've already hinted at it. You want to talk a little bit about magic before we finish up stuff?
Ooh, system wise or story wise?
Uh, give them a little taste of both.
Oh, okay, cool. Um,
Figure 9:30 is when we'll try and end it because you actually have work in the morning and I should write more stuff.
God, we've been at this over 2 hours. That's exciting. Thank you for
We
joining us,
have.
everyone. You're awesome.
You all
Um,
have been amazing, and I
yeah.
have to stop I keep having to stop looking at my phone because of Patreon right now. And
Oh,
I'm like,
that's
I
intense.
don't cry on stream, don't cry on stream.
Um, yeah. So we are introducing magic. We're looking at making that part of the core game. Um, so characters will be able to access magic, and that's kind of where essence slots are really going to start popping up. Um, so if you'll remember, I'm going to pull up Pablo's backpack again.
Pablo.
So Pablo's backpack has essence slots, much like every other character. And if he was to have magic, he could use essence slots to create those spells, spell-like abilities in combat. Um, Now, Pablo's backpack does not currently have magic, so he's not going to use those essence slots for that. But that is kind of one of the main elements of that essence. Now, from a system standpoint, or from a lore standpoint, um, the idea of magic is very new, and pretty unusual for most people. So, kind of having access to the anomaly, having access to those mutations, and potentially like getting items or relics that enhance or alter your own magic abilities. Those are all things that the world is kind of exploring. Uh, in addition to the concept of is magic a form of science? Is it a form of spiritual energy? If I'm a spiritual monk hermit type character, like am I going to be better at magic, or am I going to be better at magic if I have mechanical whistles and items that I can use to enhance my magic? Those are all things that the world is very much struggling with and trying to understand in what is now kind of the new magical arms race that is happening between nations. um, as well as them just trying to figure out, like, is magic even something they want to deal with? Because truth be told, that anomaly is very unpredictable, and sometimes that magic works and sometimes it doesn't. Oh, Chocolate just posted a second character.
Ooh.
That's exciting. um Boop. But Aoden Yokel Bayou Invigorator. Bayou
That
Invigorator.
that felt like some kind of tongue twister.
Wow, that's amazing. That's great. I love that.
Prehensile feet. You sense the wow. The hell?
The hell.
Oops, that was on me.
I mean, I repeated you.
Oh, I was reading the typo that Tyler found. Prehensile feet. You can see in darkness. I messed that up. That was on me. Hey, Daniel.
Hey, Jake.
I will let you decide something
Okay.
because I'm feeling quite generous for our lovely people out here. I know we're getting close to the end of this.
Mm-hmm.
I have a couple of monsters that I could put on the $1 patron thing so that all the lovely patrons could have some monsters.
I think it would be pretty nice of us to release at least a handful of those monsters that we have, because I
Yeah.
know that we have quite a
So
few.
yeah. So I'm gonna pick a number, Daniel. How many monsters are we gonna give them at the $1 tier?
Ooh, for the $1 tier,
Yeah,
I think they deserve three right now.
three. All
Yeah.
right. How do you feel about the Octorok
Oh, I love those.
and how about some Grav arms?
Grav arms are good.
Mm-hmm. And then I'm not sure what else to put out.
Well, while you're thinking about it, I'm gonna answer Tobal
Go for it.
Kane's question.
Go
Um,
for it.
so, does the anomaly cause random spell effects when you're close to it, or when a mini anomaly occurs? So it's kind of two questions. So, I've actually written an adventure concept recently that does take place near the anomaly,
Mm-hmm.
and by and large, the anomaly is not. It's fairly consistent along the borders. Um, it is, most people would still consider it to be pretty unsafe. They do not recommend going too close to the anomaly. However, there are people who have lived within the anomaly for multiple years now. People who have lived on the border of the anomaly. Um, Olgarth's Eyrie, which was one of the major Evanglacian cities, is basically like, it was a giant city on top of a mountain, and the anomaly butted right up next to it, nearly like consuming half of the city. Um, but it's been very stable there ever since. That having been said, there are still absolutely many anomaly eruptions that occur and tweaks that occur. And yeah, there are definitely some random spell like effects that occur when that happens. Um, which could just be, maybe a whole city just erupts in fire. Maybe, every broom in the city suddenly becomes sentient. You know, what happens is still, we're still learning.
This suddenly becomes sentient. That's such a big jump between those two things. That's yeah.
So yeah, I I think that the anomaly is going to be really fun from a storytelling perspective. I think it's going to give narrators a lot of options for what to do. Um,
Mm,
but I'm also just personally very excited to start playing in the anomaly because having well, one of the things that geographers have proven is that um, if you map the outside of the anomaly, it's fairly contained. But if you enter
mm.
the anomaly, it's bigger on the inside. Um, so,
Like a phone booth.
like a phone booth, exactly. Yeah, so if you go from one side of the anomaly to the other, it is much longer than you think it should be. Um, so, this little bit of land right here, that's the anomaly, is actually quite vast inside. Um, so, moving from one island to the next can be quite a long and arduous process. So I think that there will be a lot of room for stories that involve, building airships and getting a crew to go within the anomaly and maybe hunting for survivors in the anomaly. And dealing with the different monsters and spirits and demons and other creatures that you might find within the anomaly as you kind of build your airship crew and go and just, explore or rescue people who have been lost in the anomaly.
Sure.
Those are
I like
the
that.
the sorts of stories that I am very excited to tell.
I think that's really cool.
Oh,
Uh,
pilgrimages into the anomaly. Yeah, that would be
Pilgrimage.
wonderful.
Uh, should I? Question for you, Daniel. Should I make these this little drop be just kind of like our confrontations that are normally at our 550 tier?
Um, I would just make them like they are in our bestiary.
Yeah,
Yeah,
just put them like together in
yeah,
that.
and then we can include
Oh,
them in the PDF with the next version,
sure. Let me.
and
You
that
know
way
what?
anybody who joins will get that in that version and it'll be available to them.
All right, then yeah, I'll put some fun stuff in there. Put some animals and whatnot to use for people, and also some monsters to fight. And because people have done so much with honestly because they people have been so supportive on the Patreon and been so like ready and excited. I think I'm going to throw in at least for this month throw in one extra confrontation.
We definitely
Uh,
have them ready.
yeah, I mean I just finished writing one up. I'm gonna throw in one for Tephra and have the one that's currently scheduled for Retroscape still coming out. That way, like I said, the system is you can definitely swap monsters around if you so wish and want to pull in some weird things. The anomaly, like we talked about, is so very strange and wonderful. At some point, we're gonna make some Tephra adventurers fight some Retroscape operatives.
Well, that sounds bizarre and weird. I'm excited.
Yeah, sounds like the anomaly.
All right, Jake. I think
Uh,
that pretty much wraps us up for the night.
yeah, I'm pretty solid with that.
Yeah.
Um,
When I threw this
Any
randomly on my calendar, I didn't think it'd go 2.5 hours, but I've definitely enjoyed myself, and I've loved chatting with everyone tonight.
Yeah, I think it'd be fun to probably not every week, but doing this some more
Yeah,
and doing some more character building.
yeah.
Anything you want to tell the folks, or anything you want to like talk about
No,
before
not
we head
really.
out?
I mean, it just I appreciate everyone being here, and stay on that Discord. We'll be updating it pretty regularly. We have
Hmm.
a lot of material that we will be pushing out here soon. So,
Yep. Um, I got two things I can do real quick.
yeah,
If you are in the Kansas City area, December 1st to the 4th, if you look at the blog post, you might have seen that there'll be a convention in the Independence, Missouri, Kansas City, Missouri area. I'll be out there doing some demo stuff. I'll I'll see if I can like maybe do some demos of maybe some 2.0, some Retroscape and Tephra and all that stuff. I think there are some people actually running games potentially of like Tephra First Edition and maybe some Retroscape. But if you're in the Kansas City area and you're wanting to like run some demos and playtests, please let me know. A lot of the conventions will do the thing where like, hey, if you run a 4 hour game, you basically get in for free. So, you know, it's a 4 day con, Thursday through Sunday. It's a lot of fun. It's the first one back in like 2, 3 years almost.
wow,
So if you're out that way, definitely come by and say hi. I might have some buttons or dice or things, and of course books. But the only other thing I was gonna say is thank you all so much for coming by and supporting us. It's been a blast, and I can tell you that me and Daniel are very giddy and excited in our developer chats, talking about how much fun it is seeing people get hyped up and also building stuff already.
God, yeah, it's the best. It's really been wonderful, kind of like finally like announcing second edition is coming in a more public way and getting everyone
Yeah,
involved. So, I'm
we can announce it, and we are actually at a spot where we feel comfortable enough that we can update it on a semi-regular
yeah,
basis.
yeah, for sure. Um,
And Retroscape's about to get to that point too, which I'm excited about for my few things I want to do. But it's very fun to get both stuff going because we're getting to try a few different things, which has been nice. We're getting to bounce a bit, which has been very good for our mental health, I think.
yeah, yeah, it's been great.
Oh yeah, like and subscribe on the thing,
The doobly doo.
the doobly doo.
Smash that
Smash that.
bell. I don't know that bell.
Uh, I mean, technically, legitimately, if you like and subscribe and hit the bell, it does like get us out there.
Does
Not that
it?
we're like
Great.
doing you. Yeah, it does. Oh yeah, no, the interactions, comments, things like that. Technically, if you all that stuff. So yeah,
Do the
do
YouTube
the
things.
YouTube.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah. Well said.
share on social media, all that stuff.
Links in the doobly doo.
Tell your tell your friends to come check it out. We'll be doing more stuff soon.
All right. Cool.
Yeah,
Well, thanks y'all,
yeah, thank you guys.
and good night.